friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to sit down with my cup of coffee that I just brewed that I'm going to drink before it gets cold and talk to you guys about BJU Press Homeschool. This was our first year using it, and we used it for a few courses, and I quite honestly thought that most people had heard of it and knew about it, but it turns out that a lot of you guys say that you want to know more about it. You've never really heard of it before. So I figured I would sit down and do like a 10 fact video about BJU Press from our personal experience of using it this year. Okay, so the first thing that a lot of these came from questions I was getting, like, is it this, is it that? And so what I did was I just made a fact list. So if you see me looking down, this is like a fact thing about BJU. So BJU stands for Bob Jones University. They are a homeschooling curriculum company that has been around a long time. They actually have a Christian college campus in Florida, and a lot of their materials are actually used in private Christian schools, as well as homeschooling. So they have different options when it comes to the homeschooling option. You can either just choose to use a textbook and you can teach the material, or you can use a distance learning option. Now, the fact that I want to point out here is that it is not like, what was it called this year with all the kids that went? It is not, I can't think of it. What is that called? I know you guys are shouting it at the camera. Distance learning. It's not like a live classroom. They're pre-recorded videos that your child watches and does their coursework and reads their materials and all of that. The distance learning option has those videos, those instructional videos from the teachers that they have, you know, BJU has hired. They're not in a live classroom setting. The teacher doesn't actually like know your child. They're just recorded videos. So it's not an umbrella school. It's not a charter school. It's just a homeschooling curriculum that has video option if your child enjoys watching instructional videos, or if you don't want to teach that subject, then they have someone who is teaching it, and it's enjoyable, the video sense, because the kids are actually seeing the teacher that is teaching the different classes. So they're not just listening to a voice. For example, like our math program, it's just a voice. They don't ever see a person, and I think that it's cool for them to see like a person. So yeah, I wanted to quickly explain that. So the distance learning option means that you get the videos. If you just buy the books, then you're teaching it. So that's the difference there. Another fact I wanted to give you guys about BJU is that they have all different levels. So they have like kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. You can buy their curriculum individually for specific classes like we've done, or you can do the whole thing and do like a grade level package. So that's available. You work through it at your own pace. So there's no one, you know, making sure, sorry, my air conditioner just closed my door all the way. There's no one making sure that you're on this day by a certain day. There's no like, you have to be logged in at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can work on it at your own pace, at whatever days you want to do, whatever times you want to do. If you want to do 2 lessons one day and none for 3 days, they give you 18 months to finish a course. So you can do with that what you will. I personally found that I was like, ooh, I would never want my child doing the same class for 18 months, but I guess if there was something that came up and they needed it, they would have that time. The next fact about BJU Press distance learning option, because that's the option we chose, is that their format for the curriculum guide, so the schedule that they send you with your classes, is a 5-day-a-week schedule for a total of 180 days. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I will say it is a lot. But you can obviously work it to your own schedule. You know, if you only want to do 140 days of lessons, then do 140 days and just choose which ones you're not going to do. So you can customize it, but the way that they send it to you is formatted off of 5 days a week, 180 days. Each day, the lessons generally in our experience have taken anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes per class. That's been kind of the average. The cost of the materials for the distance learning option is around $350 a class. Now, I know that's a lot, but hear me out. They send you all of your books, all of your activity manuals, everything you need for the class. They obviously have the teacher that is on the screen teaching the lessons. They have the auto grading, so your child's assignments are auto graded, and all of the tests and quizzes and everything are kept online in your parent portal that you can log into at any time. So your child has an access, and then you have your own access for viewing grades and completed assignments, and if there's something that you need to grade. For example, some of the courses require essay questions. Well, they can't have an auto grade thing because it's not, you know, a true or a false. So you have to go in and read what their answer to the essay question was in order to see, and they give you they give you some examples of good answers, so you can kind of grade your own child's essay question based off of that. So you do have access to that. And so the cost for each class is around $350. And they do have customer support and customer service, which I did call a few times, and they were very helpful in helping me figure out what the issue was that we were having. I really, really, really love the auto grading feature. I will say that. The courses do come with physical things that your child will read through and write on. So not everything that they're doing is on the computer screen. For example, in my daughter's literature class, she had handouts that they also, you know, send to you, and she was filling things out. So it's a good combination of physical stuff in their hands as well as, you know, computer screen and typing and things like that. For the science classes, they all have, or the upper level science, I haven't looked at any of the lower level science because this has only been something that we looked into for 8th grade and then are continuing in for 9th grade. The high school science classes and the middle school classes do have an optional lab kit. It's called like Logos, I think. And they are expensive. The lab kit is like $350 as well, or $250, somewhere in that ballpark. So for my daughter, she did earth science this past year, and I didn't get the lab kit because I was like, whoa, that's a really expensive lab kit. And she did fine on the course. When you do the distance learning option, the experiments that they do, they show on the screen as well. So if your child doesn't have the lab kit, then they can at least watch what they do. But in hindsight, I do wish I would have purchased the lab kit, just because she would have really enjoyed that. And, you know, I can't attest to whether what you get is worth that $250. But I'm getting ready to purchase the lab kit for physical science, which is the one she's doing next year. So if any of you experienced homeschool moms know where I can get that Logos lab kit for a cheaper price, please let me know, because I'm like, ooh, that hurts. That's like, they better be getting some NASA type scientific materials for that much money. So yeah, that we did it this year without it. it was fine, but I do want her to have it next year, so I am going to buy it. So that was something that I got asked a bunch too. The next question that I've gotten a bunch about it is it is a Christian homeschooling curriculum company. So everything is surrounded, you know, based off of Christ. All the science refers back to it continually, and that was so faith building for my daughter. I loved how they talked about, you know, different elements of scripture within the science lessons, and I just really, really, really loved that portion of it. So I think that that is really it for the facts on BJU. We liked it. We had the things we liked about it. We had the things that we disliked about it, but ultimately we did decide to continue to use it for foreign language and science for next year. So I'm not someone that could see myself in this season of my homeschooling life doing all of our classes on there. That just wouldn't be what I wanted for our homeschooling experience, but I could see the benefit of that for so many different situations. So I'm not saying that that's a bad option. I'm just saying for us, that's not what I want. But let's say if I were, you know, a single mom that was homeschooling, or if my kids were going back and forth between homes, if we had like a split family, you know, and going to their dad's house and then coming back to my house, or if we were, if there was an illness or, you know, a new baby or something like that, I could see advantages to utilizing more of their curriculum with the distance learning option, because that's the only one I can speak about, because that's the only one that I've done. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some facts about BJU Press, distance learning, Bob Jones University. I will leave a link to their website down below and you guys can go and check it out. Their site is really easy to navigate. If you have any more questions for me, leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. But I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you all in my next video really soon. Bye guys.